I watched my son-in-law slip poison into my daughter's evening tea. He didn't know I was there. He didn't know I'd been watching for 3 weeks, and he definitely didn't know that tonight everything would change. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to the moment my world shattered. The call came at 2:47 a.m. I remember the exact time because I was staring at my bedside clock, unable to sleep, when my phone lit up the darkness. "Mr. Patterson?" The voice was tight, professional, terrified. "This is Dr. Catherine Reyes. I need you to come to my office, right now, and whatever you do, don't tell Derek." My daughter had been dead for 3 days. "What's this about?" "I found something in Melissa's blood work, something that doesn't make sense, something that shouldn't be there." Her voice dropped to barely a whisper. "Mr. Patterson, I think someone murdered your daughter, and I think you might be next." The line went dead. 6 hours earlier, I'd stood at my daughter's grave watching my son-in-law cry. Perfect tears, perfect timing, perfect performance. Derek sobbed into his handkerchief as they lowered Melissa into the ground. 41 years old, gone in 3 months from a rare blood disorder that came out of nowhere. The mourners started drifting away. That's when I saw her, a blonde woman in a dark coat standing behind the headstones, young, maybe 30. She wasn't crying, she was checking her phone. Derek broke away from the pastor and walked straight to her. I watched from 50 feet away as his grief evaporated like steam. He touched her back. She leaned into him. They spoke in urgent whispers, heads close together, looking nothing like strangers, looking exactly like lovers. I started walking toward them. By the time I got there, she'd vanished between the graves. Derek turned, and just like that, the mask slid back on. Red eyes, trembling lips, broken widower. "Dad?" His voice cracked perfectly. "I still can't believe she's gone." "Who was that woman?" A flash of something dark crossed his face. "Just someone from Melissa's office, paying respects." "She wasn't at the service." "Dad, please, I'm exhausted. Can we not do this now?" I let it drop. 32 years as an insurance fraud investigator taught me when to push and when to watch. I watched him walk to the limousine, phone already in his hand. That night, I couldn't sleep. Around midnight, I found myself in Melissa's old bedroom, now Derek's storage room, filled with his golf equipment and boxes. That's when I saw it. A small orange prescription bottle, half hidden under a stack of papers. I picked it up. Warfarin, blood thinner, prescribed to Melissa. But the label said 60 pills. The bottle was empty, and it had been refilled just 2 weeks ago. My hands started shaking, not from grief, from recognition. I'd investigated insurance fraud for 3 decades. I knew what murder looked like when it was wrapped in medical paperwork. The next morning, I drove to Dr. Reyes's office. She was waiting for me, door locked, blinds drawn. "Thank you for coming." She looked like she hadn't slept in days. "What I'm about to show you, it's going to destroy you." She turned her tablet toward me. Blood test results, charts, numbers that meant nothing to most people. Everything to me. "Your daughter was being poisoned," Dr. Reyes said quietly. "Systematically, for months." I stared at the screen. "How?" "Blood thinners, triple the prescribed dose. See these spikes?" She pointed to the graph. "Every single one corresponds with her evening medication time, the time Derek gave her pills." My throat closed. "I should have caught it sooner." Her voice broke. "But the symptoms looked like disease progression. By the time I ran the extra toxicology panel after her death, it was too late." She pulled up security footage. A pharmacy. A man in a baseball cap, face obscured, buying over-the-counter blood thinners. "I can't prove it's Derek, but this person bought exactly enough medication to cause the accumulation we found in Melissa's blood." "Did you tell the police?" Her laugh was bitter. "They said it was circumstantial, said grief was making me paranoid." She pressed a USB drive into my palm. "Everything's on here, all my notes, all the evidence. Because, Mr. Patterson, there's something else you need to know." I waited. Melissa called me 2 months before she died, late at night. She was scared. Dr. Rey's eyes filled with tears. She said some days she felt fine, energetic, normal. But then Derek would give her evening pills and she'd be exhausted for days, barely able to stand. She asked if that was normal. What did you tell her? I told her it was probably just the disease cycling, that some days would be better than others. She wiped her eyes. I sent her home to the man who was killing her, and I'll live with that forever. I drove home through morning traffic, the USB drive burning a hole in my pocket. Derek was in the kitchen making breakfast when I walked in. Eggs, toast, coffee. The devoted husband. "Dad, there you are. I was worried." He smiled. "Where'd you go so early?" "Couldn't sleep. Went for a drive." "Well, sit down. Let me make you breakfast." He pulled out a chair. "We should talk about Melissa's estate, the life insurance. No rush, but, administrative things." I sat down and watched him move around the kitchen, humming softly, phone face down on the counter, screen lighting up every few minutes. "How much was the life insurance?" I asked casually. $750,000. He poured my coffee. "We increased it about 6 months ago. Melissa wanted to make sure we were protected." 6 months ago, right before she got sick. "That was smart," I said. Derek smiled. "She was always thinking ahead." I spent the next week pretending to grieve while I built my case. During the day, I hired a private investigator named Marcus Cole, former FBI, the best. During the night, I sat across from Derek at dinner recording every conversation with a device hidden in my jacket. Marcus's reports came daily. Day 3, subject meeting blonde woman at coffee shop, intimate body language. Verified her identity, Vanessa Hartley, 29, pharmaceutical sales rep. Day 5, traced relationship back 8 months. They started seeing each other 2 months before Melissa got sick. Day 7, found bank transfers. Derek's been sending Vanessa money, $15,000 over 6 months. Day 10, accessed their email correspondence. You need to see this. I sat in Marcus's office reading the emails that would destroy my son-in-law. October 15th, 4 months before Melissa died. Derek, the pills are working. She's getting weaker every day. Doctor thinks it's just the disease progressing. Vanessa, how much longer, baby? I miss you. November 3rd. Derek, increased the evening dose. She doesn't suspect anything, thinks I'm taking such good care of her. Vanessa, you are, just in a different way. December 20th. Derek, insurance policy confirmed. $750K plus her trust fund will be set for life. Vanessa, I love you. Soon we won't have to hide anymore. January 28th, 3 weeks before Melissa's death. Derek, she's barely conscious most evenings now. Won't be long. Vanessa, I already booked our Cancun trip for March, celebration vacation. I read that last one 3 times. They'd planned a celebration vacation for after my daughter was dead. This is premeditated murder, Marcus said quietly. Conspiracy. We take this to the police right now. But I didn't move. I just sat there, staring at the emails, feeling something cold and focused settle over me. Mr. Patterson, I need more. More? We have enough to. I need everything. Every email, every text, every lie, every moment they thought they were getting away with it. I looked up at Marcus. I want them buried so deep they never see daylight again. He nodded slowly. Okay, let's bury them. 2 weeks later, I sat across from Detective Ramon Vega at Houston PD, the same detective who dismissed my concerns a month earlier. Sandra Mitchell, my wrongful death attorney, laid out the evidence like a prosecutor presenting a death penalty case. The affair, 8 months of secret meetings, the emails, discussing dosages, discussing timelines, discussing murder. The financial records, money transfers, insurance policies, motive. The pharmacy footage, Vanessa's medical access, means. The blood work, Dr. Rey's testimony, the impossible toxicity levels, proof.
He reviewed each page. His expression got harder with each one. Finally, he looked up. "Mr. Patterson, I owe you an apology. I should have listened. Can you arrest them? I'm reopening this as a homicide investigation. Full resources." He stood. "Within 48 hours, they'll both be in custody."
Vega moved fast. Vanessa was brought in for questioning 2 days later. Marcus had surveillance outside the precinct. She went in confident, he told me that night. Came out 3 hours later looking like she'd seen death. They'd shown her everything. The emails, the money, the pharmacy footage. She'd lawyered up immediately, stopped talking. But her reaction confirmed guilt. 5 days later, Derek showed up at Vanessa's apartment. Marcus's surveillance equipment caught every word. "You talked to the cops?" Derek's voice was high, panicked. "What did you tell them?" "Nothing. I didn't say anything." "Our emails? You said you deleted them." "I thought I did." "You thought?" Derek was shouting now. "You thought? Do you realize what you've done?" "Me? This was your plan. You came to me." "I came to you because you said you could get the medication. You said you knew how to make it look natural." "And I did. I got you everything you needed. I show you how to crush the pills." Silence. Then Derek's voice, quiet and deadly. "You need to keep your mouth shut. Do you understand? Whatever they ask, whatever they show you." "It's too late." Vanessa was crying now. "They have everything, Derek. They know everything." Marcus's recording captured it all. A full confession. On tape. March 10th, 6 a.m. I was sitting in Derek's living room when 3 unmarked police cars pulled up outside. Detective Vega emerged first, 4 uniformed officers behind him. I opened the door before they knocked. Vega nodded once, silent acknowledgement. Then he called up the stairs. "Derek Patterson, Houston Police. We have a warrant for your arrest." The footsteps above stopped. 3 heartbeats of silence. Then Derek appeared at the top of the stairs in his bathrobe. "What? There must be some mistake." "You're being charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder in the death of Melissa Patterson." Vega held up the warrant. "You have the right to remain silent." "No, this is insane!" Derek backed away as officers climbed the stairs. "I'm her husband. I loved her." They turned him around, handcuffed him. His eyes found me standing by the door. Understanding hit him like a physical blow. "You!" His voice shook with rage. "You did this!" I said nothing. "I'm your family!" He screamed as they pulled him down the stairs. "Melissa was my wife!" I spoke quietly, calmly. "Melissa was my daughter, and you murdered her for insurance money." He lunged at me, but the officers held him back. "You senile old man, I'll destroy you. You have no idea what you're doing." Vega stepped between us. "Mr. Patterson, you need to come with us, now." They dragged him out the door. He was still screaming, threatening lawsuits, calling me delusional. I watched through the window as they put him in the police car. His face was visible through the glass, contorted, furious. No more mask, no more perfect grieving husband, just a killer, caught. The car pulled away. The house fell silent. The civil trial started in June. Sandra filed for $2 million in wrongful death damages. Derek sat across the courtroom in a gray suit, trying to look innocent. The jury didn't buy it. Not after Dr. Reyes testified about the toxicity levels. Not after they heard the emails read aloud. Not after they listened to the surveillance recording of Vanessa saying, "I got you the extra medication. I showed you how to crush it." And definitely not after Vanessa herself took the stand. Vanessa entered the courtroom in jail orange, shackled. Part of her plea deal required truthful testimony. For 3 hours, she detailed the conspiracy. How Derek approached her in May, said he wanted out of his marriage but couldn't afford divorce. How he proposed increasing Melissa's insurance, then slowly poisoning her. How Vanessa would supply extra medication through her pharmaceutical connections. How they'd split the money and disappear together. She described Derek crushing pills into Melissa's evening tea, described watching the news in January for reports of Melissa's hospitalization, described Derek calling her with fake tears. Something terrible happened. The courtroom was silent. Then Derek stood up. "You lying snake!" He was shaking. You said you loved me. You said we'd be together. The judge slammed his gavel. Mr. Patterson, sit down. She's lying. Derek pointed at Vanessa. This was her plan. She came to me. Vanessa's eyes went cold. I didn't force you to crush those pills into your wife's tea. That was all you. You bitch! I didn't force you to watch her get weaker and weaker and do nothing. Sit down! The judge roared. Bailiffs grabbed Derek, dragged him from the courtroom. The jury had seen everything they needed to see. His mask had shattered completely. August 20th, verdict day. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. The foreman stood. In the matter of Patterson versus Patterson and Hartley, we find for the plaintiff. I didn't feel triumph, just cold satisfaction. We find the defendants liable for the wrongful death of Melissa Patterson. Damages awarded $1.6 million. Derek's face went white. Additionally, we award $400,000 in punitive damages to be paid jointly by both defendants. $2 million. Every cent of it going to Melissa's favorite charities. Derek would never see a penny of the money he killed for. The criminal sentencing came 2 weeks later. Derek appeared in jail clothing, thinner, older. The judge reviewed his plea agreement, 20 years without parole. Mr. Patterson, the judge said, you orchestrated your wife's murder for financial gain. You showed her no mercy. This court will show you none. The gavel fell. 20 years. Derek was led away. He didn't look at me. Vanessa got 12 years for her role in the conspiracy. The insurance company voided Derek's claim. He would spend the next 2 decades in prison with nothing to show for it but my daughter's blood on his hands. 2 days after sentencing, I drove to the cemetery. Melissa's headstone was simple. Granite. Clean. Melissa M. Patterson, 1983-2025. Beloved daughter. I stood there with my hands in my pockets. It's done, sweetheart, I said quietly. 20 years for him, 12 for her. They won't profit from what they did. The wind moved through the trees. I know it doesn't bring you back. Nothing can. But I made sure they paid. I made sure the truth came out. I made sure justice was served. I placed my hand on the cool granite. I love you. I always will. That evening, I sat on my porch watching the sun set over Houston. I opened an old photo album. Melissa as a child. Gap-toothed smile. High school graduation. Nursing degree. Her whole life captured in pictures. A life that mattered. A life that was stolen. A life that was avenged. I don't feel triumph. Revenge stories promise catharsis, closure, satisfaction. I feel none of those things. I feel tired. I feel older. But I also feel that I kept my promise. I found the truth. I exposed the lies. I made sure justice was delivered. Melissa's life mattered. Her death had consequences. And somehow, that has to be enough. Tomorrow, I'll wake up and keep living, carrying her memory, knowing I did everything a father could do. The fight is over. Justice, imperfect and painful, has been restored. And that will have to be enough. If this story moved you, please like and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, sometimes justice takes time, but it always finds its way home. Click the next video to hear another true story of justice served.